Galatians 3:6, which is a quote from Genesis 15:6, Paul says, just as Abraham believed God and it was counted to him as righteous. All right, let's read my commentary. Throughout his letters, the Apostle Paul seems to take great interest in Abraham, referring to him no less than 29 times. If we look at footnote number 91 in my commentary, we'll see that there's quite a lengthy list of verses from Romans and Galatians and 2 Corinthians as well as Hebrews, if we were to assume that Paul wrote Hebrews. So James Yaakov, I say, also makes use of Father Abraham in chapter 2 in verses 21 through 23 of his letter there, and he goes so far as to bring the binding of Isaac into the equation for us. So I think it's important to realize that for Yaakov, in this, as we can kind of compare against Paul, for Yaakov, Abraham's faith was perfected by his corresponding actions. Understand? Abraham's faith is vindicated by his actions, so his works vindicate his faith. Germane to our study, however, here in Galatians, is the phrase credited to him as righteousness, is penned by Moshe in Bereshit, which is Genesis 15:6, and of course referenced by Sha'ul, Paul, in Romans 4:3. So keep in mind that when Paul is bringing in Abraham as his example of faith, he uses Abraham in Galatians, and he uses Abraham in Romans, and he uses him prominently for the simple fact that Abraham is the model of faith for us to imitate. He's the model of faith for us to pattern our life after, because Abraham becomes the father of our faith for both Jews who have genuine faith in God, which is genuine faith in Messiah, but Abraham also becomes the model of faith. He becomes the father of faith for those Gentiles who place their genuine faith in God, which is genuine faith in Messiah. And here's the rub. Here's the unique twist. I believe that the influencers of Paul's day were also using Abraham as the model of faith. But Paul's going to turn their example on its head, because they were seeing that Abraham was perfected by his works, in the sense that Abraham became a Jew, or Abraham took on Torah obedience. Abraham became circumcised, which kind of secured Abraham's Jewish identity and thus secured Abraham's covenant membership. And then the influencers are going to point to Abraham and say to any Galatian Gentiles wishing to be counted as righteous, they're going to say, look, see, Abraham became circumcised, and then Abraham was counted as righteous. And of course, the influencers are getting the whole sequence backwards, right? They're getting the cart before the horse, because they fail to realize that, yes, it is true that Abraham became circumcised, but Paul's going to masterfully point out that when was Abraham credited as righteous? Was it before he was circumcised, or was it after he was circumcised?